Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Ballistic Barbecue. Today on this video what I'm going to be preparing is braised beef short ribs on the Dutch oven. Haven't done a Dutch oven cook yet, I don't think, on video. Really looking forward to doing this. Before we get started though, I'd like to go over the ingredients. Alright, the first ingredient is going to be the beef short ribs. I got 5 pounds here, cut across the bone. As you can see, it's nice marbled meat, and a good 2 inches thick. Got here 1 large, pretty roughly minced white sweet onion, 2 carrots thinly sliced, and 2 ribs of celery also thinly sliced. 2 sprigs of rosemary, 4 sprigs of thyme tied together with twine, 2 dried bay leaves. You can also use fresh if you have them. I'm using 2 tablespoons of Mexican oregano and 3 cloves of garlic that I've minced up. 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. 2 cups beef stock. Got some kosher salt here, coarsely ground, and I'm going to be grinding some black pepper. It's going to be to taste. I'm going to be using a nice red wine. I personally like the Cabernet Sauvignon, and like I said, guys, if you're going to be cooking with wine, don't cook with something you wouldn't drink. So it's a decent wine here. Okay, so we're going to season the ribs. We're just going to keep it really simple. Just some kosher salt, fresh ground pepper. That's all we're going to do. Get all the sides. Don't be stingy with the salt and pepper. So we're going to sear these outside in just a few minutes. Get a nice crust on them. Alright, so I'm going to complete doing this on all the sides of these things, and then we'll take them outside and we'll start the actual cooking process. Alright, so the next step of this cook is going to be searing these pieces of meat. Now at this point I've got my Dutch oven here. I'm just using my little Weber Smoky as more of a cooktop, I guess, to get this thing heated up more like a skillet. After I'm done with this process, we're going to be taking it to my bigger Weber, where we're going to be actually using the Dutch oven. You can use cooking oil at this point, kind of lube up the Dutch oven here, but this being Ballistic Barbecue, we're going to use bacon. We're just going to render this down here to where it gives us enough fat to get these nice pieces of meat seared up. Alright, as you can see, got a lot of good oil going on here. Took those the bacon out. Now we're going to put these in here. It's really important that you don't overcrowd this, so we're going to be cooking it in batches. Alright, so these are done. This is the last batch. You can see they're nice and brown. So what we're going to do is the next step, which is starting the braising liquid. So let me get these pulled off and we'll start the next part of this cook here. Okay, so meat has been removed. Going to get the onions in there. Carrots. Celery. And my garlic. We're going to get this going just until, you know, these onions and everything start to break down, brown up nice. Alright, so as you can see, these things are really nice and broken down now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add the tomato paste. And again, this is one 6-ounce can. We're just going to keep this in here on this heat until the tomato paste, everything starts to get a real deep red. And already all the nice little baked on, I call it goodness, left over from that meat has already been picked up. I mean, you can see it's kind of deglazing itself without even adding the liquid yet. So it's got that nice red that I was looking for. I'm going to add that beef broth. I'm going to add that wine, the bottle of the Cabernet. The oregano. And the herbs. Get that stirred in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just let this come up to a nice boil before we add the ribs in, and then we'll take it over. Like I said, I've been using this as a skillet. After the ribs are added, we're going to use this as it was intended to use, as a actual Dutch oven. So we'll be back after this comes to a boil. Alright, so nice boil going on now. So you know, I do realize that I forgot to add the bay leaves. They're in there now. Add this meat. Now, these particular short ribs I have here have a pretty thick piece of, vein of fat going between that bone and the meat. So I'm expecting, if you see what I mean, I'm expecting most of these to lose the bones. It's not always the case, but on this particular rack, it's going to happen. They're going to be good. But I usually like to keep the bone intact, for the presentation, I guess. But, oh well. These all added in there. Try to get them as covered with this liquid as much as possible. Like this one's losing the meat already. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get that lid on. Now I'll meet you over at the grill. Alright, now I have the Dutch oven sitting in my Weber on top of about 10 lit coals, and I'm going to go ahead and put the coals on the top now. Usually I like to put 10 on the bottom, about 14 on the top. As you can see, these coals are pretty small, and what has happened is, people are going to be shaking their heads in agreement here. Making videos while you're cooking has affects timing quite a bit, and a lot of my coals were withering as I was doing those other shots, and I was trying to compensate by adding more unlit charcoal to the chimney, and this is definitely going to be hot enough to do it, but as you can see, a lot of these smaller guys are going to wither as the cook goes, because this is going to be cooking for 2 to 2.5 hours. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I do on a longer Dutch oven cook anyway, is simply add some unlit briquettes to the top of the Dutch oven. And these will slowly ignite. By the time these guys are really chugging along, these really little briquettes are going to be gone anyway. So the bottom's looking pretty good. I got some pretty decent briquettes down there. But this is what I would suggest you guys do, if you're doing the longer cooks and you see the briquettes are kind of withering away, just add some lit ones, or unlit ones here, and it's like the minion method. They're going to ignite from the lit charcoal and they're going to just chug along. So anyway, like I said, about 2.5 hours, and we'll be eating here soon. Another thing that I like to do is about every 20 minutes I'm going to rotate the whole oven about a quarter turn, and also rotate the lid the opposite direction about a quarter turn, and that'll just ensure that we're going to get a nice even cook. So anyway, we'll check on it in a bit. Alright, so it's been 2 hours and my short ribs are done. I'll go ahead and give you a really quick look at these things. I took a peek just a few minutes ago and they looked amazing. So as you can see, the braising liquid is reduced dramatically. Just it really smells good. I wish you guys could smell this. All right, so my next step is I'm going to take this in the house. I'm going to remove the short ribs, pour the sauce into a. I have one of those like a measuring cups that separates the you know, the grease that surfaces to the top. If you don't have one of those, then I would just, you know, use a spoon and ladle off the grease that surfaces, because we're going to use that as a you know, as a sauce for the ribs. Anyway, I'll meet you guys inside the house. All right, so here we are. Very, very tender. Some of the bones actually held, which I was happy. Made up a nice creamy polenta. Again, I just blended up that reduction liquid, made a really nice sauce. Some asparagus. So let's give this a try here. Really, really, really good. Really beefy. Definite thumbs up on this one, guys. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.